Aloha, everyone. I wanted to show you how to use evaluation tools. I just want to show you here. I'm going to use 110 Library Lane as an example. And just so you know, you can just go in and type in the address and you'll see it populates. So if you can just Google your address, and I like Zillow. There's tons of different tools, but when you go under home value, this page will show up because it's not currently on the market. And I can just click on home values and click rent Zestimate. And it, will give me some information on what they're registering as the rental value. So they're saying $36.94. And so that's a good starting point, but we don't want to just use the values that are given here because this data is looking at 30 days ago. It's not necessarily exactly current to this moment. It also doesn't know about current conditions. So it's pulling, information from when this property was last sold. So if you've done any updates or upgrades, that, figure might not be as accurate. So again, this is just a starting point. Then I might want to go in to Zillow and just look at what other 2-bedroom, 2-bath homes are available. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. My property that I'm using as an example is a townhouse. I'm going to go ahead and put that in. We have it specific for Santa Cruz. And as you can see, there are immediately some higher results coming up. And so I'm just going to want to take a look. So some of them are, a little bit lower in price. Plymouth is maybe not the same exactly as Seabright. So I, would want to say, okay, like Broadway and Plymouth are a little bit busier. Plymouth is kind of by the freeway. This is sort of more like towards Ocean Street. And Seabright is, an example of an area that might be a little bit more, desirable. But I also kind of want to check out the condition of these. So I'm going to look and say, okay, this property looks fairly similar in values. I'm going to discuss this in another video, but when you're taking pictures for your listing, make sure you close your toilets. There's just little odds and ends, but we'll have another video on that just to help your property present well. And so, but there's really not a ton, which is good. So that's helpful. If there were 30 listings, then, I'm going to want to factor that in. You got to think about supply and demand. But I'm going to say, okay, well, let me factor in apartments and houses as well, because someone might just say, hey, I want a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and they might want to look, at everything that's coming up, and you might see, that there's a little bit more, but it's still not a ton of availability. And so I'm just going to say, okay, this is an apartment, this is a house. So this is like a, less updated. I might go slightly higher than what the Zestimate is, because there is kind of a lot in that, 4,000 range. And the other thing is I kind of like to list my rentals a little bit higher and then check the activity, in a week, and then maybe adjust it down lower because you kind of want to try to get yourself the highest rent you possibly can. So that is how you can use an evaluation tool as the start of your search.